Yo, what's going on? Dre here. Quick live stream. Quick. This is like an impromptu live stream. I won't be on long. I'm like preparing. Wasn't feeling too well earlier. Had some stomach issues, but I wanted to do this live stream to talk about something that just about I guess about a video I just came across recently of a principal. But what's going on, everybody? Let me just talk to you guys for a quick hot second before I get started. Edward Hines, what's going on, bro? How you doing? Blacklight Revelations in the building. How you doing? Man, things are well. Things are well. Wasn't feeling too well, but doing all right. I'm doing a lot of planning, end of the marketing period and all that good stuff. So making sure that all my stuff is done. So I won't be on too long. I'm trying not to be more than a half an hour. So I do want to talk to you guys and those who want to listen. You have every chance, every right to leave if you want. But if you guys want to engage in the conversation about the topic, please hang out because we're going to have just a decent topic. Unscripted too. So I didn't script this. Usually when I come on, I have notes. And if you ever see me looking off to the side, it's me just looking at my notes as I talk to you. But this is an impromptu, unscripted discussion because I really want to share with you guys some heart about this specific topic. Why we need black male educators. Why we need black male educators. So this coming Wednesday, I'm having a conversation with Edward Hines, who's in the building, about male expendability, right? So I'm hoping that through these series of conversations that I'm having even tonight, that we start to appreciate the presence of males in our society, whether it's black communities, white communities, Hispanic, Latino communities, Italian American communities, whatever communities, we need to start appreciating the male presence. And in schools, right? You don't see a lot of male educators, but you definitely don't see a lot of black male educators. And guess what? I am one. I am a black male educator. I am a teacher in the fourth grade. I teach fourth grade. I'm a special ed teacher. Actually, I'm dual licensed. I have a gen ed license and a special ed license, and I teach fourth grade. In the past, I've taught third grade, teaching fourth grade this year, and I'm having a great time doing it. And honestly, for several years, almost well over 2 decades, I've been working with young people, working with children, working with families. My heart is in the young people because I believe the best way I can help shape our future is to help shape the minds of young people. So I'm continuing that as a teacher, not just a teacher, a black male educator. And I teach in a district that is predominantly white, Staten Island, New York City, a predominantly white district. My first 5 years in education, all my teachers were black because I was going to a school in Brooklyn. And in fact, my very my first grade teacher was a black male. It wasn't until I moved to Staten Island that I saw there's not a lot of black male educators. Well, Staten Island there's not a lot of black educators, but there's not a lot of black male educators, right? And I'm like, yo. And the thing is, I guess, hindsight is 2020. When I'm in middle school and high school, you don't really think about things like that. You don't. I didn't think about me being engaged in school or me not being engaged in school. And it was probably because unconsciously I didn't really connect with people or adults that closely because they didn't really look like me. And I remember connecting with Miss Swift in middle school. She was like a middle school counselor. I remember connecting with Miss Hing, who was the AP, and she was the only African American educator I seen in all of my years going to school in Staten Island. Not one time did I see a black male educator, unless there was a substitute. But yeah. I see a lot, but and I'm trying to think. Like back then, I was a smart kid. I just didn't really like school that much. Wasn't really an engaged student. I did the bare minimum to pass, right? Even though I could have very well been, top of my class. In fact, I was actually top of my class all through middle school. And in the beginning, my first semester in high school, I did tremendous. Then after that, I was like, yeah, I don't know about this high school stuff. Started hanging out with friends and messing up, just doing the bare minimum to get past, to get by. So I don't remember seeing that. There were some white males who took a liking to me, but there was a lack of connection with the culture, right? They weren't trying to understand who I was. They were trying to make me into what they felt I should be like, right? So, and I think that's what they knew how to do. That's what they knew how to do. So it is what it is. But black male educators are needed in our schools. Whether it's a white school or a black school, black male educators are needed in our schools. I want to show you guys a video of two principals who provided haircuts for boys in their schools. One situation, this happened, I want to say this article was printed yesterday, February 25th, 2021, has a video. We're going to watch it real quick. Let me share my screen. Yeah, hopefully it'll work. We're going to watch this. Make sure I got the right one. And I just want to just watch this, and then maybe we'll read the article for a minute. And you'll see why black educators are extremely important. It goes beyond the academics. It goes way beyond the academics. All right, let's check it out. All right, here's the article. We'll play the video real quick.
This is the image that's going viral online, showing a local principal giving one of his students a haircut.
He was refusing to take his hat off, and so I sat down with him and asked him why and what was going on. He said he just got his hair cut. He didn't like the way it looked, and he thought his hairline looked a little funny.
Jason Smith is the principal of Stony Brook Intermediate and Middle School in Warren Township. He says he thought the 8th grade student looked fine, but understood that his student's lack of confidence in his own appearance was keeping him from going to class.
I've been cutting hair, most of my life. I played college basketball, and I cut my teammates' hair before games, and I've been cutting my son's hair since, for 17 years. So I had professional, clippers and edgers at home. So I said, if I go home and get my clippers and line you up, will you go back to class? And he said, yeah, I will.
So now you see here, right? There's the understanding there. There's the understanding. He is trying to, he's in a place where he can relate to this student's challenge, right? How many situations where a young boy who does not want to go to class will take off his hoodie or his hat because his hair's messed up? How many times the educators, the principals, the teachers will not listen to this young man, will not practice empathy to feel what he's feeling, the insecurities that he's having, and force him to take off his hood, knowing that, or not unknowing that, this boy may be ridiculed and made fun of by his peers because he had a messed up hairline. This principal, who can connect to this young boy because they are of the same culture, probably the same hair texture, can relate to him. And what I liked about this situation, and some people may say he went too far, right? He went too far. Some people may say, he should not have gone home. But this principal was like, let me remove the obstacle for this young man right now. I have within my power to do something to help him. Let me remove this obstacle out of his way in hopes that he can be successful for this specific moment in time, right? So he went home, got clippers from his home, came back to his school office, lined homeboy up, and homeboy went to class. Listen, Black Light Revelation says, hey, bro, this is interesting. Find Kevin Samuel's live stream titled Buying In or Selling Out. It's along the lines of this. Yeah. It does connect with that a little bit. But you know what I like? So here's the thing, right? I'm not sure if he's trying to buy into, I guess, what many may say is white standards. This little boy was like insecure about his hair. He had a messed up haircut. So it's not like, being told that he has to cut his dreads off. He just didn't want to go take off his hat or hoodie or go to class because he didn't want to be made fun of. The principal understood that and helped him and removed that obstacle. And here's the thing about black male teachers, and even me, right? So I could speak from my experience. My whole goal is trying to remove these kids' obstacles. They come into the school facing so many challenges. And when they're in the class, they're thinking about all those challenges or fatigued from trying to fight all those challenges. My goal as a teacher is trying to remove the obstacles so that they can be successful in class. And this principal is doing that, right? He's doing that. He's able to make that connection. Let's continue.
Getting cleaned up by his principal, the student held up his end of the bargain and went straight to class. While a perfect haircut may seem trivial to some, Principal Smith knows that for a black boy in middle school, having a good haircut can mean the world.
That age is a time for, peer acceptance is huge, and so young men, especially, African young men, the barbershop's a big deal, in the community, and looking good and representing and presenting yourself, is huge for kids.
While many
That's a good point, CC. Thank you so much for coming through. Yeah, you're exactly right. Especially in Title I schools, it can literally be a culture shock for some teachers. Yeah, because the thing is, you have teachers who will travel and listen. I'm not saying anything bad about their ability to teach. There are some great teachers out there, but they don't have the connection to the culture, right? Or the challenges of people within that culture. So when they come, they may come from a very a neighborhood where people look and behave and act like them, and they come into a neighborhood like where Title I schools are, and all they want to do is teach. And what they don't do is try to connect with the students in a more personal way. So they're not really concerned about their challenges being removed so that they can focus on their work. They just want them focusing on their work. And teachers should, they should want their kids to be successful academically. But it's hard to think about academic concepts when you're concerned about your peers making fun of your hair. You know what I'm saying? And that happens a lot in Title I schools. A lot of these parents can't afford to take their kids every week to the barbershop. They can't afford it. So what do? Sometimes my mother used to cut my hair. My mother would cut my hair. Just that back then I didn't care what I looked like. I was handsome in the face, so my hair was anyway. I was cute. But my mother cut my hair. She didn't know how to do lineups. She just made sure that it was low. And then he may be going to a school where boys have like fresh haircuts, and he's about to be made fun of. I remember in middle school, this boy came to school, and his hairline was just one big circle, and he got made fun of, right? Like, somebody said they put a bowl over his head and just cut it for him. Like he was made fun of. Local family was going on. So CC, making those connections is important. Most teachers will adjust with the right leadership if willing. Yeah, that's important. Let's continue.
Online are saying this principal went above and beyond.
Yeah, he definitely went above and beyond.
Smith would tell you he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do, not only because he's the principal, but because he's on a mission to change the culture of his school, a place where he wants to solve problems instead of making them worse.
Listen,
we're not, disciplined with the hard fist. You could call and have that parent come pick the kid up for, defiance, or you could,
which many schools would do. They'll call it the parent. Your child is being defiant. He won't take off his hoodie. Won't take off his hat. Well, and by the way, I'm a teacher that there are no hats in my classroom. No hats in my room. No hoodies in my room. All right. That's the school culture. But I'm not going to be that kind of teacher that if, because with the girls, it's the same way. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, so I used to work at a center. I was the coordinator of a center in one of the New York City housing developments. It was we had gym and work. It was an activity center for young people. So we had almost every night 100 people in and out, 100 teenagers in and out, right? So the girls would come in, right, with their hair wrapped and all that stuff, hair wrapped and any way they want, right? And that was allowed, but the boys would come in and I would have to enforce them taking off their do-rags. right? And I had to stop for a second, right? Like within me, I don't believe young men should be walking around with do-rags on their heads. That's just me. That's just how I feel. And that's how I raise my sons, right? But then I had to stop and think. I talked to a couple of them. Every night I got to tell you, take off your do-rags. Like, what is it? Like, why do I got to keep talking to you? Mr. Andre, you don't understand, man. Like, I'm trying to get waves and my hair's not right now. And I'm just trying to lay it flat. That's all. And I had to stop and think, yo, I don't get on the girls for coming in with their hair wraps because their hair don't look all that nice underneath. But I'm going to get on the boys. They got it. They wear their do-rags for the same reason that girls wear head wraps. I switched it up. So I eliminated that policy. If the girls can come in with their head wrap, then I got to allow the boys to come in with do-rags because the purpose is the same. I had to think of it like that, right? So for young boys, they're trying to find themselves and they don't want to be made fun of. So they may want to cover their head. This principal knew that. He went above and beyond.
Can sit and get to the root of the problem and see, what can I do to help you? What do you need right now?
Principal Smith, who is studying for his doctorate in education, says he's still searching for the best ways to create the best learning environment for his students.
Listen.
He says this viral haircut could be a lesson for all educators on having empathy for their students.
Facts.
He really was not trying to get out of class. He just thought that he would be laughed at. So we took the time and did what we could to help him.
Cameron Riddle, WRT.
Shout out, major shout out to this principal. Major shout out to this principal. All right, major. Like, this is what our young black boys need. This is why having black male educators in your school is important, because they understand, they can relate. There's a level of connection there. I've been in your shoes. I know what it's like to have a bad haircut and be made fun of. You know what? Let me help you out. Let me line you up. And like I'm one of two black male teachers in our school, and we both have a deep connection with our students, deep connection with our students, right? We both actually go into education more as mentors, and he was also a supervisor at a different site of the same network of community centers that I worked at. So he was a supervisor at another site. So we have this connection where we look at our young people. We don't see kids that just need to get an A. We see kids that need an all-around educational experience, not just me teaching them the academic skills they need to pass a test, but what do you need to be successful in life right now? Okay, and that's what we're here for. That's what we're here. And there's almost every black educator I know think the same way. Black male educator. Yes, we have to discourage teachers from scheduling an IEP without giving children time to acclimate or truly get to know them. Agreed. Getting parents engaged is key. Agreed. Parent engagement is key. I read a post just the other day about, it was a meme. I wish parents were as, I forgot how it went. Something about parents. It was weird. It was a post that said parents should be as committed to seeing their kids successful academically as they are enforcing that with their teachers or this. It was a deep. I got to find it. If I find it, I may post a video about that too. All right. So Harry says you only need one educator to make a huge difference in one person's life. Let me show this on screen and highlight this. That will make a huge difference in another person's life, and so on and so forth. What's up, Drake? What's going on, bro? I'm not going to be here long. I'm just going to talk real quick about this article I just read. And I'm going to show you guys another video if you guys don't mind. Let me show this. All right, this happened actually last year. Last year this happened. So I'm going to show you this video. This is by NBC News. I'm probably going to get copywritten for this one. It is what it is, but check it out.
There's good news tonight about the power of a good haircut. An elementary school principal in Delaware has found a surprising way.
That's probably an ad. Now, I'm going to let this ad play. Hold on. I'm going to let this ad play. So here's the thing, right? There's black educated, you'll find more black educators in middle school and high schools, but to have a black educator in an elementary school is extremely, extremely rare. Extremely rare. rare. And in fact, when I went into teaching, I set out to teach at a middle school. I wanted to teach at a middle school or high school. I never once thought I can be an elementary school educator. Now that I am, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do high school or middle school. Like, I want to be exactly where I am right now at PS 78, educating these young little ladies and gentlemen. All right. All right. So the ad is over. Let's get into this. Check it out.
There's good news tonight about the power of a good haircut. An elementary school principal in Delaware has found a surprising way to show his students how much he cares.
Good morning, great daddy.
Just before the first bell at Amelia P. Warner Elementary School in Wilmington, Delaware,
Good morning, come on, hug.
Principal Terrence Newton lets his students know just how much they matter. In this high-risk community with a rising crime rate, it's a message they may not often hear.
I'm so glad you guys came today. If we don't get a grip on our kids now, we're going to lose them to violence. We're going to lose them to the graveyards. We're going to lose them to the incarceration. And we don't want that. What you want done today, big guy?
So he's figured out a fun and unique.
This is the principal of an elementary school giving his kids haircuts. Haircuts.
Way to connect with the kids.
All right, next topic. On you.
By creating a barbershop right on campus.
My experience, let's come from the barbershop. And, you talk about everyday life experience. We talk about academics. We talk about behaviors. We talk about things that's going on in the community.
It's about more than just free haircuts.
You're trying to inspire us to do better.
For Principal Newton and his students, it's a special place for swapping stories while building community.
Did you see what he was wearing? Let's go back. Let's see. You see what this young man is wearing right here? It sort of looks like he's wearing his principal's tie and his, look, he's not wearing his tie. The principal took off his tie, put it on the young man, put his jacket on the young man. And this principal is wearing this young man is wearing his principal's tie and suit jacket. Like, that's huge. That shows me that this young man looks up to him so much so that he may be aspiring to be just like him. Not because he's just a regular, black man or the principal. Because this principal, this black educator, took the initiative to connect with his students. And he's principal level. Like, he's up there. Like, he could have minor interactions with his kids, but instead he's going over and beyond, trying to make connections by giving them haircuts. Like, this is huge. Like, this is big. Why do we need black educators in our schools? This is exactly the reason why.
Swapping stories while building community and confidence.
How many of you guys feel good when you get a haircut?
I just feel seen.
From flat tops to fades and waves. Twice a week, the longtime educator who grew up in Wilmington gives boys like Brandon Ponzo a fresh look and pep talk.
I want you guys to be successful, and you got to have a plan.
The one-on-one.
Now, if you notice, he's not just like he's giving him life lessons. Life lessons. Listen, professionalism should be encouraged at a young age. Exactly, and that's what he's doing. He's an example. Never mind the guy in the back with the camera. I don't think he saw the mirror there. Let's continue.
Time is making a big difference for Brandon and other boys.
It makes me feel better about myself.
Now better behaved and getting good grades too.
When I see them, I see me. So my goal is to change the world. When you guys are successful, my life is successful.
It's not just a chance to spruce up, but life lessons based on a simple yet profound philosophy.
I think, honestly, self-esteem is huge. Self-esteem motivates us to be positive. It motivates us to be confident. So if you look good, you dress good, you act good.
Principal Newton says he's self-taught with the Clippers, and if you're wondering about the girls at the school, well, he calls in the pros, local hairdressers or staffers who specialize in styling their hair.
You're probably thinking, oh, it's only hair. Like, it's no big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for these kids. Black males are extremely needed in schools, and not just in schools in black neighborhoods either. Black male teachers are needed everywhere. And there's a couple of reasons why. And I'm going to just share with you guys why I feel this way. Okay. Our young children, black and brown children, are predominantly taught by white women. And there are white women that are amazing teachers. So this is not like a knock against white women as teachers. This is by no means an attack on them. All teachers of all races, ethnic backgrounds are needed. Okay. But the problem is there's a lack of black and brown teachers, even more of a lack of black and brown male teachers, right? And so what tends to happen is that our kids grow up in an educational setting that is predominantly white females. Then, because and from that level, these white females are the authority in the school, in these kids' lives. So they grow up thinking that, the white female is their authority. And this isn't like an attack on, again, white female educators, right? It is what it is. Like if they don't see anybody of their own kind teaching them, then they only see one specific kind, their mind is being conditioned to think a certain way. Whether you are doing it on purpose or not, that's how it is, right? And then when they grow up, they have predominantly white police forces policing them as authorities as well. So they don't get a chance to see positive black male figures in their life until maybe after they want to become, an entrepreneur or get mentored or maybe in church. But outside of that, it's almost rare for them to see it. What is that noise? You guys hear that? I don't know if that's me. I hear like a beeping. Or somebody trying to call me? Oh, that was my phone. Getting updates. Yeah, so but the thing is, it's not just needed in black schools, right? We don't just need black male teachers in black schools to show these black young men that there are people in authority, educators that care about them, that look just like them. Schools that are predominantly white need to see black male educators, black female educators, Latino educators as well. All right, so to normalize what it would look like in society when they grow up, because they have. Let me shut this off because this is something annoying me. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. Oh no, that's my printer. That was my printer. All right, I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but I can hear it. So to normalize society, right? Because their only experience with black males for young white kids growing up is probably what they see in the news, or probably what their parents tell them about. So they don't have any experience with a positive black male figure in their life, which is why all schools should have a diverse teaching staff. All schools should have diverse teaching staffs. I agree. Male social workers too. Yeah. One of my good friends I was in a meeting with earlier today. He's a male social worker at his school. So it's needed, right? We need to be able to show young black boys and girls that they're positive African-American male, black male figures that they can look up to. We also need to show young white boys and girls that there are positive black males that they can look up to as well. So here's the thing, right? And I'm going to close it here because I've been on for half an hour now, and I said I didn't want to be on any longer than that. Black male educators are needed not just because, and statistically, students tend to do better with the positive influence of a black male educator, but emotionally, developmentally, perception-wise, it's good for young black boys and black girls, young white boys and white girls to have exposure and experience with a black male educator that really cares about them. Because if we hide them from our young people, they're not going to grow up with a connection or even a perception that black males are positive at all. What if they're in a situation where their mother and their father has a very tumultuous relationship and they don't get to see their father that much, right? What if, a young white girl, a young white boy is, in a place and they start getting anxiety because they see a black man, and all they've ever seen or heard of a black person is that they're violent and angry, right? And that's not the case. having black males in schools as educators, as paras, as principals, as counselors, as social workers, not just custodians, but we need that also. Not just cafeteria staff, we need that also. But at all areas of a school culture, we need black male educators. And actually, I'm going to say black male educators, period. Whether you're a custodian in the school, you're still an educator. Whether you are in the cafeteria space, you're still an educator. If you're a para, you're an educator. If you're a counselor, you're an educator. If you're an administrator, you're an educator. Because these kids are learning from us at all areas. Behavior management with some white female teachers and young black males need time to cultivate. And let's talk about that real quick. And this was one of the things I really wanted to talk about. In a lot of schools, right, the black male educator is the muscle in the school. They're the ones that are the disciplinarians, right? They're not really taken seriously as an educator by their peers. But if there's a kid in the school that's having a difficult time behaviorally, they're going to call the black male educator, in most cases, to take care of the behavior problem. All right? And I'm not saying that's not always a bad thing. No, sometimes you need that masculine presence, because for some reason, masculinity, the masculine presence of a male, tends to be a silent intimidator in the room, especially when it comes to children, right? I'm a fun teacher. But once I get when I put my face on, my teacher face, I don't even have it to put on my teacher voice, but my teacher face, everything stops. Everything stops. And if I have to say something, it's too late. It's too late. So, yeah. But I do want to thank you guys for watching. This was an unscripted, sort of like a heartfelt vent on why we need black male educators in schools. It's important. And if you're watching right now and you're thinking, I don't know what I want to do with my life, I want to make a difference, but I don't know where I can make a difference, and you are a black male, I would encourage you highly to look into getting into education. I would encourage you highly to consider being a teacher, whether it's in an elementary school level, middle school level, or high school level, because there is a shortage of black male teachers. So it's two-sided. Our students don't have a lot of exposure to black male educators, but you know what else? There's not a lot of black males looking to get into education at that. So let's remove the stigma that teaching is only for women. All right, it's not. Our students need to see black male educators in general, but for the sake of this conversation, black male educators in their schools, because it helps improve the future society, because their perceptions will not be molded only by what media tells them. All right. So what's up, mommy? Thank you so much for coming through. So with that being said, I'm going to close out, get back to my work. All right. And I see you guys later, man. I appreciate you guys being here. All right. If you have not done so, hit that like button for me. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you would like to join the Harrison Extended family, hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification next to it, so it'll let you know when I upload new videos or go live, just like I did go live tonight. This was not planned. I read the article, wanted to come live, share my thoughts as a black male educator, because I am a teacher, 4th grade in New York City. But yeah, man. And lastly, if you are a man and you just don't know what you want to do with your life, and you want to make a difference, become a teacher. All right. So with that being said, let me see if I can get this going. I'm going to end the live stream now. All right. I'm going to get some work done. I'm going to put on Candidly V's Clubhouse as I do my work. And I recommend you guys go on Clubhouse and search Candidly V, and you guys can get in there too, join the conversation. And yeah, until the next live,